Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of College Football Takeover. Today, with the AP poll dropping in 9 days, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on who I think should be ranked in the top 25. About 2 months ago, I did a top 10, but my top 10 has changed, and I didn't do the other 15, and no one really watched the video. So I'm thinking, okay, let's do a full top 25 video. And then also 2 years ago today, I started this sports show. It's been a great 2-year journey, and I started out with what I think the top 25 should be. So we're doing that again on the 2-year anniversary of this wonderful show. But before we dive in, let's get to the trivia question of the day. The category is the run game. Match the running back with the team they joined in 2024. So the running backs you can match your team to is 1, Antonio Gibson, 2, Derrick Henry, 3, Josh Jacobs, 4, Tony Pollard, and 5, DeAndre Swift. And you can match them to A, Baltimore, B, Chicago, C, Green Bay, D, New England, and E, Tennessee. I'll repeat the question, The category is the run game. Match the running back with the team they joined in 2024. The options are 1, Antonio Gibson, 2, Derrick Henry, 3, Josh Jacobs, 4, Tony Pollard, and 5, DeAndre Swift. And you can match them to A, Baltimore, B, Chicago, C, Green Bay, D, New England, and E, Tennessee. Put your answer in the comments. I'll answer that at the end of the episode. Today's football birthdays are Perry Garcon, Howard Cross, Bruce Matthews, and Brian Sipe. And tomorrow's football birthdays are Deion Sanders, Donnell Manning, Hunter Smith, and Bill Forster. So happy birthday to those gentlemen. Those are your football birthdays and your football trivia question for Saturday, August 8th, 2026 and Sunday, August 9th, 2026. So on my 3 other prior ranking teams videos, I've always started with number 1, and I've always been like, shoot, at the end. So this time, we're doing it correctly. We're going to start at number 25 to kind of keep this suspense going, because most people only care about the top 10, so we're going to end with that. Number 25, a team that I don't know if a lot of people have ranked, the Arizona Cardinals. They went 9-4 last season. They ended the year well, and Noah Fafita's coming back for another season. I think he was their quarterback the last year in the Pac-12 when they went 10-3, which was a successful season. Then they were trashed the next year, but then they got back to being a great team last season. And Noah Fafita, he had like 28 pass touchdowns, six interceptions only, 3,000-something yards. They're going to be a dark horse to go out there and win in the Big 12. Noah Fafita, I think, can absolutely be a dark horse to go out there and to go out there and win the Heisman Trophy. I don't think he's going to, but I think if you're looking for a dark horse to win the Heisman Trophy, I think you have to consider potentially putting Noah Fafita up there, fresh off of a great season, more experienced. This will be his last year before the draft, so before going into the draft next year. So this will be a year where he's like, I gotta be great to show I am a legit Heisman contender and that I should be drafted high. Arizona at number 25. Number 24, it's kind of weird I have this team so low because I'm a massive believer in them. I've got a pennant on them right behind me. The Iowa Hawkeyes, I don't know. They have the lowest returning production in the Big Ten. We're a month out from their debut, or less than that, and they still haven't named a starting quarterback. I have them at number 24, although I really want to see them make it to the 12-team college football playoff, and I do have them as a Big Ten dark horse, but I'm just like, I love Kirk Ferentz. I'm a massive Kirk Ferentz believer, but I'm iffy. I have them at 9-3, but I don't know. Can they beat Ohio State? Can they beat Washington? I think it's Penn State they play. I don't know, but last year was gonna be their year, it felt like. They were 2 plays away from going 10-2, and I don't know if this is meant to be Iowa's season to do it. Lowest returning production in the Big Ten. Now you can view that as a good thing. They didn't make it to the college football playoff last season, so they weren't good enough to make the playoffs. So why do we want those players coming back? Because they're more experienced. So now you bring in new guys, and you still have a named starting quarterback. I don't think you got one in the transfer portal. But the last time they did that was Cade McNamara. Yeesh. But that's why I'm a bit skeptic on Iowa. I really want to see Iowa go out there and be elite. I want them to beat Ohio State. I'm an Ohio State fan, and I want Iowa to beat Ohio State, but I just don't know. That lowest returning production in the Big Ten concerns me, but knowing Kirk Ferentz, they're going to be a solid team, but who knows if they can get to that great level. I feel like they can under Kirk Ferentz, but I don't know if this is the roster that can do it. Number 23, we've got the Louisville Cardinals. Jeff Brom is, he's been great. He's coached there 3 seasons. He's been great, constantly bringing greatness. They beat Miami last season, and I think they have like the second or third best odds to make it to the ACC title game or to win it. So I'm high on them. Knowing Jeff Brom, it's going to be another good season, and this can be their year. The ACC's pretty weak. I mean, Miami, SMU, we'll get to those 2 teams later on. Virginia Tech, I made a video on why they can be an ACC dark horse, but that's about it. So the ACC's weak. There's an opening, and if they beat SMU in that game, I think Josh Pate was saying, hey, this is kind of an underrated game because that's a game to watch out for because the winner of that game becomes the favorite to play Miami in the ACC title game. So, and Ole Miss is a big game just down there in Asheville in Nissan Stadium, which I, of course, live by. So that's going to be a big game, which I think they can beat Ole Miss. This is going to be a prominent year. There's a lot of hype. I think Louisville is going to be legit this year. Number 22, we've got the Utah Utes. First time in over 2 decades. That they do not have Kyle Whittingham as their head football coach. Upgraded, I think, defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley to be their head football coach. I know it's Morgan Scalley. I think he was the defensive coordinator. I know they upgraded someone within the staff, but Devin Dampier's coming back, I'm pretty sure. Utah was a 10-win football team last year, almost made the college football playoff. Big 12 solidly weak. I mean, BYU's good. Oklahoma State's a dark horse I have. Baylor's kind of a dark horse I have because I believe in DJ Lagway. But Texas Tech stacked, but they lost Brendan Sorsby. I would say Utah and Devin Dampier has a better quarterback than Will Hampton and Texas Tech because Texas Tech was the quarterback that cost them, and I think that will be the same again. But so I think this can be Utah. This can be a good year at Utah. I'd be more high on them if they had Kyle Whittingham. A bit skeptic about what Morgan Scalley can do, but the chance is still there. The Big 12's open. I've got the Utah Utes at number 22. Number 21, a team that shockingly went 10-3 last season, completely flipping the script in year 2 with their head football coach. The Houston Cougars. Connor Wakeman returns. Like I already mentioned, the Big 12 is solidly weak, so the opportunity is absolutely there to see the Houston Cougars win a Big 12 title. Mentioned how the Big 12's weak. They just completely flipped that script and went 10-3 in year 2 under Willie Fritz. They just flipped the script. I think they beat Arizona State in an upset. Like, they completely flipped the script, and they were a legit football team last season. And Wakeman coming back, Willie Fritz, year 3. This is where things take off for the Houston Cougars. Big 12's weak. I can legitimately see year 3 being a year where Houston's another Big 12 dark horse, college football playoff dark horse. Wakeman's back. Wakeman's not great, but he'll be better this year now that this is going to be the most experienced version of him. Number 20, going back to the ACC, the SMU Mustangs. Kevin Jennings is back. Of course, Kevin Jennings was SMU's quarterback when they went to the college football playoffs. And yeah, they lost in the ACC title game that year, and they got smoked in Happy Valley against Penn State, in James Franklin and company. And then last season, you're like, they missed out. And yes, they only would have made the ACC championship game because the ACC was so weak last year. But if they didn't get upset against California at the end of last season, they make the ACC title game. Like, they would have made the ACC title game and very likely won it and made the college football playoff and would have made it back-to-back years. And this is, again, the most experienced version of Kevin Jennings. I get the vibe that this is a legit team that can legitimately compete for a college football playoff spot because Jennings is back, and yes, it was only because the ACC was super weak, but they would have made the ACC championship game if California didn't upset them. So, although looking at the record, it was like 8-4 or something, it didn't look like they would have made the ACC. They almost made the playoffs, but 2 of those were conference losses. So yeah, they almost made the playoffs. SMU 20. Penn State at 19. AKA Penn, Iowa or something, because they brought in all the Iowa State guys. Matt Campbell got hired. A year ago, we were all sitting here saying Penn State can win a national championship. Weren't we all saying that? Yes, we were. And now this is a completely different Penn State team. New coach, new coaching staff, new quarterback. Rocco Becht almost guided Iowa State to the college football playoff in 2024. Last year was a bit more bumpy. Iowa State went like 8-4. And, excuse me, I have Penn State going 9-3. I think most people do. You're like, that's good. But then when you look at it, they have an absolute cakewalk schedule outside of 3 games. And guess what? The 3 losses I have. Those 3 games, which is Washington. So they don't play Iowa, but Washington, USC, and Michigan. Excuse me. So that's a big issue, is that although 9-3 looks good, I think me and most people don't think they're good enough to compete with the big dogs in the Big Ten. Rocco Becht's good, but I don't know if he can be enough in the Big Ten. He may have been enough in the Big 12, but I'm not so sure in the Big Ten. Penn State's going to have a good year, but still getting used to things under Matt Campbell. They had James Franklin for like 10 years. It's going to take some getting used to having a new face down there in not so happy Valley, but maybe he can bring that happiness back. 18, Alabama. You're like, whoa, the coaches poll had him at number 11. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Like Iowa, a month till college football comes back, or week 1 comes back, and Alabama has not named a starting quarterback. Sorry, they haven't. Keelan Russell, I think Austin Mack's the other guy. And I have no confidence in Kalen DeBoer. 9-4 year 1, 11-4 year 2, averaging 10-4 per year, 8 losses in 2 years at Alabama. I don't have the faith. I have them potentially going 7-5. Like, it's messy. They got to go to Tennessee. Texas A&M comes to town. Georgia comes to town. At Vanderbilt, I don't care if Javi is gone. It can be what it was 2 years ago, and it can happen again. Vanderbilt can beat you because Vanderbilt has the home field advantage. I'm not so sure I feel the Alabama hype. I don't think Alabama is very good. I do not think Alabama is a good college football team. You got Ryan Coleman Williams back, adding the Coleman part, but because he added that this year, changed his name, but he wasn't as good in year 2. I don't know how much I can believe. I get it. I mean, DeBoer brought in Ty Simpson, who was solid, but I think Alabama's kind of fallen. They're falling. I don't know if they're going to go 7-5. That was a bold prediction that I had. I'm not sure I even agree with that. But I'm not understanding the Alabama hype. I'm not high on them. I don't think DeBoer's the right guy there. He should have never left Washington. I'm not sure I like DeBoer in Alabama. Alabama at 18. Number 17 is Tennessee. They also haven't named a starting quarterback, but I think Tennessee can be good. I think they beat Alabama because it's in Neyland. I think those two programs are going to be trading off when it's in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Bama's going to take it. When it's in Neyland, Tennessee's going to take it. I don't know. They couldn't get Joey Aguilar to come back, but I like Josh Heupel more than I like Kalen DeBoer. And I'm not super high on Tennessee, but I can see Tennessee being a good football team this year. The Vols are good, and I can't remember what I predicted their record to be, but I'm just more high on the Vols. They also haven't named a starting quarterback, but they get Bama at home, so for some reason that's making me feel more high on the Vols over Bama. And you can trust Josh Heupel to always have a good offense. And Jim Knowles, it was a train wreck at Penn State, but he had a real good defense at Ohio State, and he won a national title there. So that defense can be better. The offense under Heupel will certainly be good. Tennessee at 17. 16 is Washington. You got, Desmond Williams Jr. or Demond Williams Jr. or something. He's a great quarterback, and Jedd Fisch is getting things rolling. That team went 9-4 last year, 8-5, and Washington's going to be rolling in a great group, and home field advantage is going to help a lot. 9-3 is a very good opportunity for them too. They've got a legit quarterback, maybe another Heisman dark horse. Demond Williams Jr. I think is his name. So I believe in Washington very much. They get Penn State at home. They got to go to Eugene. That stinks. But they get Iowa at home. So I'm high on Jedd Fisch in Washington. Jedd Fisch going into year 3 there. He's building his culture. This can be their breakout year in year 3 under Jedd Fisch. Number 15, the Michigan Wolverines. Of course, lately, all of the scandals. You had the Jim Harbaugh scandal thing. Sorry, that's just my dog barking. So you had the sign stealing scandal. Then you get through that, and then the Sherrone Moore scandal happens. But I never thought Sherrone Moore was the right guy at Michigan. Now you bring in Kyle Whittingham. Who knows how long he'll be there before he retires. But Michigan has legit, it's a brutal schedule, but they get Penn State at home. They got to go to Ohio State. They got to go to Oregon. They host Oklahoma. So it is a brutal schedule. I heard Joe Klatt talking about it. It is brutal, like Ohio State's is too. And this is just year 1, but you've got Bryce Underwood. He had a solid freshman year. Sophomore year, he has a better coach than Kyle Whittingham, who's more experienced than Sherrone Moore was. And he's more experienced. Bryce Underwood's learned from last year. The schedule is brutal. I'm thinking more 8-4, which is kind of crazy to say, but I don't know. And they get Iowa at home, so excuse me, I don't know. But Kyle Whittingham he's a good coach, and he can absolutely build something special at Michigan. It's his first year, so it's hard to get super high on them, especially with the brutal schedule. But Bryce Underwood being more experienced, and Michigan having a better coach than last year and a more experienced quarterback, and they won nine games last year. I've got Michigan at number 15. Number 14, sorry. Excuse me. Number 14, we have Texas Tech. I'm hearing they have a super loaded roster. Let's see, I gotta take a drink of water. I'm hearing they have a super loaded roster. But, excuse me, I don't trust Will Hammond coming off of an ACL tear. What cost Texas Tech last year? Poor quarterback play. And that's going to cost them again. If Sorsby was there, I'd be putting them in the top 10 tier range. But he's not there. Brendan Sorsby is not there. I don't care how stacked the roster is. I do not trust Will Hammond. He wasn't that good last year, and now, coming off of an ACL tear, I do not know how much I can trust Will Hammond at Texas Tech. That's the reason I'm not feeling the good vibes about Texas Tech. I just am not feeling, the good vibes around Texas Tech. Texas Tech at 14. And they lost Jacob Rodriguez, who was almost a Heisman finalist. That's a really tough loss to have. 13 USC. I completely forgot until in my collab video with Witty CFB. Check out his channel. Super good. Did a collab with him. But until I didn't realize Makai Lemon, who won the Kinneloff, the best wide receiver award, he's no longer there. So that makes me more skeptic. But you've got Jada Maeva being more experienced. They get Ohio State at home. They get Oregon at home. That's huge to get both of those games at home. And Jada Maeva is gonna be more experienced. And this is a got-to-have-it year for Lincoln Riley. Like, this is year 5. If you're not winning a title or making the playoffs, for five straight years at USC, 3 of which are in the 12-team playoff era. I just dropped my pencil. There are legitimate problems. So if this is if they miss out in the playoffs, I think you gotta be saying, there's the door, Lincoln Riley. Goodbye. That's what they have to be saying. So will that pressure get to Lincoln Riley? And he'll be like, oh no. And there'll be a dumpster fire? Or is he gonna live up to it? And they're going to make the playoffs. I see them. I forgot all about Makai Lemon, but I still have a lot of belief in USC. They can be good. Like I said in the collab episode, I think USC beats Ohio State Halloween night in the Coliseum. I'm high on USC. I've got to go in 10-2. I think this is a legitimate year for USC. They were so close last year. This time, they're not going to lose to an Illinois again. Notre Dame's longer on the schedule, and they get Oregon at home, and they get Ohio State at home. I'm high on USC at 13. Number 12, BYU. I'm more high on them than Texas Tech because they've got a better quarterback. It's kind of interesting because last year, BYU was sort of in Texas Tech's position where Jake Retzloff was their guy, but then he had something happened and they had to leave. And now, but Bear Bachmeier had a really good, I think, true freshman year. Now he's a sophomore, more experienced. Texas Tech didn't improve at quarterback and lost Jacob Rodriguez. So I feel BYU is going to be a better team. BYU might be my prediction to win the Big 12. I think they have a higher chance than Texas Tech. I think a more experienced version of Bear Bachmeier. Texas Tech did not improve at quarterback. BYU has a more experienced version of their already pretty good quarterback. This is a good BYU team. Crumble Cookie got involved and they did not lose Kalani Sitake to Penn State. So we're feeling good. I think BYU can legitimately win the Big 12. I think because Texas Tech lost Brendan Sorsby, and of course Jacob Rodriguez to the draft, I think BYU is better than Texas Tech. BYU at number 12. Number 11, Texas A&M Aggies, last team not involved in the top 10. They lost their offensive coordinator, Colin Klein, to the Kansas State head coaching job. And Marcel Reed, he was bad against Miami. And I don't know what to think of Marcel Reed. He's a very iffy quarterback, like Rob Shepley mentioned in my collab. I'm not so sure I believe in Texas A&M. In year 1 under Mike Elko, they went 7-1, fell off, finished 8-4, 8-5 counting bowl game. And then this past year, not an as big fall off, but they were 11-0, lost their rival Texas, missed out on an SEC title game, missed out on the bye, lost in round 1 of the playoffs. So kind of a fall off there too. I have Texas A&M literally being almost exactly like that 2024 group. I had them starting out 7-1, getting upset at South Carolina, and finishing 8-4. And Mike Elko, it's year 3, and I just don't know. And maybe Marcel Reed will be even worse now that he lost his offensive coordinator. I have Texas A&M lower than most people would. I don't know how I feel about Marcel Reed and Colin Klein left, new offensive coordinator. I've got Texas A&M at number 11. Excuse me. Now into the top 10. Number 10, we have got the Ole Miss Rebels. One of the best running backs in the country, Kwan Lacey. Potentially the best quarterback in the country, Trinidad Chambliss. No Kiffin. And I'm so iffy. I either see Ole Miss being a legit college football playoff team or being a dumpster fire. I can see them going 6-6. Sounds crazy, but they got to go to Florida. I mean, they've got tough matchups. Louisville here in Nashville, week 1, hosting LSU. People say, don't be concerned that they lost Kiffin because they were still good without Kiffin. Trinidad had his best game and beat Georgia without Kiffin. But don't a lot of people say it was Charlie Weiss Jr.'s offense? And Charlie Weiss Jr. was still there. So I'm concerned that now that there's no Charlie Weiss Jr., Trinidad's going to be a lot worse, and the offense is going to fall off. Also, I think I heard someone say this a while back. It's a lot easier for Pete Golding to grab the wheel and just keep it going. But now, because when Ole Miss was in the college football playoff, they still had Lane Kiffin's staff. It was still Lane Kiffin's team. Now it's Pete Golding's team. You lost Charlie Weiss when it might have been his offense. And in that college football playoff run, it was still Lane Kiffin's team that he assembled. Now it's Pete Golding's team. And that just makes me really skeptic. So I either see it being a dumpster fire or it being a great year. Trinidad wins Heisman, all that talk. And you got to respect it. I'm skeptic about Ole Miss. I can either see them being really great or really bad. We've got Ole Miss at number 10 because the upside of Trinidad Chambliss, Kwan Lacey is so good, you got to have him in the top 10. Ole Miss at number 10. Number 9, the Oklahoma Sooners, another SEC team. Excuse me, I believe in Oklahoma. Last year, they added 2 good wide receivers. Trell Harris, I think, from NC State, and they added Parker Livingstone from Texas. So, they added 2 key wide receivers. People are skeptic about John Mateer. He was the Heisman favorite before he broke his hand. Then he kind of fell off a cliff. But it was because that hand kept on nagging him. But now an entire offseason, that hand I think is going to be A-okay. He can go back to a Heisman caliber level. And as long as Venables is still there, the defense is going to be about as good as last year. And they were possibly top 10, top 5 defense in the country. So you added 2 good wide receivers. Your Heisman favorite quarterback from before he broke his hand last year, I think he'll be 100% and he'll be ready to go. He was never 100% again. I think he'll be 100% now. And Venables is still there, so that defense is going to be great. That's going to be a good offense and a good defense. I might have Oklahoma too low, folks. Believe in Boomer Sooner. I know I do. You had 2 good wide receivers. Mateer is going to be 100%, and Venables is still there, meaning the defense is going to be a top 10 in the country. Buy in on Indiana. Buy in on Oklahoma. I've got Oklahoma at number 9. Number 8, LSU. I am ecstatic about this LSU Tiger group. I believe in what LSU can do. I believe in what this LSU Tiger group can do. Kiffin's there. Charlie Weiss Jr. So even if it wasn't Kiffin's offense and it was Charlie Weiss Jr.'s, Charlie Weiss Jr. is there. Still got Blake Baker, who was coordinating a fantastic defense. They may have spent a ton of money, but that roster is legit. Sam Levitt got banged up last year, but he'll be good to go. And Charlie Weiss Jr. and the Lane Kiffin offensive coordinator combo, they are going to bring the best out of Sam Levitt. That offense is going to be rolling. That offense is going to be rolling. And Blake Baker's still there, so you're going to have a good defense. Kiffin's not the best coach in college football, but throwing Charlie Weiss Jr. and Blake Baker, that might be the best coaching staff in the country. I think most expensive roster, I can see 12-0. They get I think they can go into Ole Miss and win. They get Clemson at home, and Clemson's pretty trash now. They get Texas A&M at home. They got to go to Tennessee, but they get Alabama at home. I am scared for them going to Auburn, but I believe in LSU. That coaching staff, Trey West Jr. offensive coordinator, Blake Baker defensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin head coach, super expensive roster, which means they are loaded, and LSU is going to be absolutely legit this year. I'm buying into them too. LSU at number 8. Number 7, hope I'm not selling this team too short, the Indiana Hoosiers. It's a completely new team. Fernando Mendoza was the Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 overall pick. He's gone. Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper Jr., gone. But they bring in Josh Hoover, who I heard from See Ball Get Ball with David Pollock. He leads, and it was actually not David Pollock, it was the Brent is like the other guy on the show. But Josh Hoover leads the FBS passing yards and passing touchdowns. It's just because he's been in the league for so long, and Signetti will probably bring the best out of him. Is it maybe a bit cruel I have Indiana so low? Probably. But I just don't know. It's a completely new team. This isn't going to happen, but it would be so funny if Indiana was just trash this year. I'm sorry. I think that would be so funny. I don't want that, but it would be funny. I'd be like, whoa, we got all excited about this for what? But that's not going to happen. I think I've got Indiana going 11-1. I think they lose at home against Ohio State. I believe in this team. Don't think I don't. I believe in Indiana. I don't want to sell them too short. It's a completely new team, but you never want to doubt Curt Cignetti. Believe me, I think we've all learned that. You do not want to doubt Curt Cignetti. So maybe I have him too low, but I've got Indiana at number 7. To another Indiana team, people say, this team has a loaded roster, which they do. Number 6, we have got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Jeremiah Smith's gone, and Jeremiah Love, the Heisman finalist. They also lost another good running back, but they bring in good running backs. This team is going to be angry. They ended red hot last year on a 10-game winning streak. And they missed out on the college football playoff. Marcus Freeman's going to be angry. I think C.J. Carr was a true freshman last year. I think he might be the Heisman favorite. I think that's a stretch. But I'm still mad at Notre Dame for pouting and opting out of their bowl game. But they're saying it's an easy schedule. Is it really that easy? They hosted Miami. Miami's legit. We'll get to them later on. They got to go to BYU and to SMU. I don't know if it's a that easy schedule. But, Notre Dame is loaded. CJ Carr, but the loss of Jeremiah Love is going to hurt. The dude, I think, finished 3rd in Heisman voting. Or 4th. 4th. Losing him is going to sting. Actually, never mind. It was 3rd. But it's going to sting. And everyone's buying into CJ Carr. I am too. I don't see Heisman favorite. But I do believe in Notre Dame. People are going to say 6 is too low. But that's where I've got them. I believe in them. I do think the schedule's harder than people are saying. Notre Dame at number 6. Getting into the top 5. Number 5. The Miami Hurricanes. There were concerns because they were going to lose Carson Beck. It's like, okay, who's this team's quarterback going to be? Who is this team's quarterback going to be? And then they get Darian Mensah. He got Duke to an ACC title game, or in the ACC championship. I get it, Duke was a 5-loss team, so they weren't necessarily a legit ACC champion, but Darian Mensah was fantastic. And look at this, Malachi Toney, a fantastic true freshman. He'll be better in a year 2. He's more experienced. He'll be better. Mark Fletcher Jr., their running back, literally led them to that win against Texas A&M. He's back. He's more experienced. So the quarterback's great in Darian Mensah. So Malachi Toney's more experienced. Mark Fletcher Jr. is more experienced. Darian Mensah, no offense to Carson Beck, Darian Mensah is better than Carson Beck. Carson Beck was kind of just a game manager. Darian Mensah is a legit Heisman contender. I'm buying into him as a Heisman favorite. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman, but I'm buying into him as a potential player to win it. And this team was 50 yards away from a national championship. Yeah. Their best wide receiver is no longer a true freshman. He'll be better. Mark Fletcher is still there, and Darian Mensah is better than Carson Beck. The defense is still going to be great. That is legit. I get it was a Cinderella playoff run, but that is legit. I'm buying into Miami. Number 4, we've got the Georgia Bulldogs. They have not won a college football playoff game since beating TCU in the national championship in 2023. Then they missed out the next year, and then they've won the SEC the 2 years of the 12-team playoff era. Excuse me. But they've gotten the round one bye, but they've been one and done. Because other than Indiana, every team that's gotten a round one bye has lost. Year 1, it was because Carson Beck, got hurt in the SEC championship game. But this is a big year for Georgia. Kirby Smart's a fantastic coach, but you cannot go another year without winning a college football playoff game. And Gunnar Stockton's back. He is ready. Georgia is loaded. Georgia's ready for a good year. I've got them going 12-0. They don't play LSU. They don't play Texas, who I think are the other 2 best teams in the SEC. Georgia at 4. Top 3, number 3, one of my favorite teams, the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes. Julian Sain's back. He was a Heisman finalist. Jeremiah Smith is back for one last year. He's not going to be returning for a senior year. He might be the most talented player in college football. They're the only team with 2 legitimate Heisman contending players. But they lost a lot. They lost Carnell Tate, a great wide receiver on offense. And they lost Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs on defense. That's a problem. Matt Patricia's still there, so I still expect that defense to be a legit defense. But they lost Brian Hartline. He was their offensive coordinator. He's been involved with the Ohio State offense for a long time. Arthur Smith comes in, wasn't a good NFL head coach. He got fired. Wasn't that good, offensive coordinator. But maybe he'll find the college level easier, or maybe he'll find out how Bill Belichick did, and he'll be horrible. But I think I heard also on C-Ball Get. I heard them say this on C-Ball Get Ball with David Pollock that the year they won the national championship, they went through struggles. And this year, they're kind of going through, and that's kind of what pushed them to winning the championship they reset after losing to Michigan. But last year, they didn't even break a sweat, and then when things got hard, they lost to Indiana in Miami. That's what I heard from C-Ball Gap Ball with David Pollock, and I can see that. And this is a monster schedule. He said this is the toughest schedule Ohio State's ever had, and I'm agreeing with that. I said way back two months ago, Ohio State is a brutal schedule. And they got to go to Texas, to Iowa, to USC, and to Indiana, and they host Oregon and Michigan. So it's a brutal schedule. Those are 6 possible losses. Iowa's a trap game. I mean, Iowa's a legit problem. So we'll see. I have them going 10-2 at USC and at Texas. I think they lose. But it's a brutal schedule. But you got to believe in them. When they have 2 legit Heisman contenders and a great coaching staff, you have to believe in them. Ohio State at number 3. Number 2, we've got the Oregon Ducks. The biggest issue with them is they lost their defensive coordinator, Tosh Tupo. Sorry, I cannot pronounce his name. But he took the California head coaching job, and they lost Will Stein, their offensive coordinator, because he took the Kentucky job. And Dan Lanning's still there. He promoted 2 guys within the system, which is good, so then they'll know the team. And Donnie Moore's back for another year. There was one wide receiver who was really good, who was hurt all of last year. He's back. So there's hype. They only lost to one team last year, and it was Indiana, who they lost to twice. And no offense to Indiana, they're still going to be great. But this is a completely different Indiana team. So I'm buying into Oregon. as a legit contender. Donnie Moore being back, more experience. He was a Heisman finalist, but he was a legit Heisman contender. He's going to be ready for another great year. Returning, Oregon's loaded. They had a fantastic defensive line last year. It's coming back. They might have the best D-line in the country. I also heard that from C-Ball Get Ball with David Pollock. I'm believing in Oregon. Got them at number 2. You guys all know who I have at number 1. And it's gutsy. You're like, what the heck? Why does he have this team at number 1? Or maybe you're just blanking on who the team is, which maybe you are. I've got the Hook'em Texas Longhorns at number 1. I believe in this team. Ryan Wingo was a good wide receiver. He received for like 800 yards and like 7 touchdowns last year. He's back. They got former 5-star recruit Cam Coleman in the transfer portal from Auburn. I saw him in like a post on YouTube. That could be the biggest transfer portal acquisition non-quarterback. So you've got 2 good weapons. Ryan Wingo is back and Cam Coleman coming in. 2 great wide receivers for Arch Manning. People are going to say, Guy, everyone was so high on Texas last year and they flopped. Why are you high on them again? Arch Manning had 14 touchdowns, 2 picks in the last 6 games. They finished 7-1 in their last 8 games. There is such thing as being a year early on a team. That was people last year. People put all this pressure on Arch Manning. In his first game, he had to go up against potentially the greatest defense in college football history, going on the road and playing that Ohio State team. That is nerve-wracking. This time he's more experienced. He doesn't play Ohio State till week 2, and they get Ohio State at home. At LSU is a game I'm circling big time. That's a game I'm excited about. But I believe in Texas. Arch Manning is my Heisman pick. Texas is my national championship pick. That team ended elite last season. That team was so elite last season at the end of the year, ending red hot. If people watch this far in the video, they are going to be blowing up the comments saying, why are you doing this? I can already see it coming. I believe Ryan Wingo is back. Cam Coleman, former 5-star recruit. He's really good. Imagine Arch Manning throwing to him, Arch Manning to Cam Coleman. That's going to be potentially one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in college football. Arch Manning's mobile. He's a great passer. We were all just a year early on Texas. I believe in them. Ohio State they get at home. LSU on the road is going to be a great one, folks. But I believe in this Texas Longhorns team. They're my national championship pick at this very moment. They've got a great defense. They did last year, and it will be really good again. Arch Manning is my Heisman pick, and Texas is my national championship pick as of this moment. Well, that's my preseason top 25. AP poll drops in 9 days. We already got the coaches poll. Bit iffy. Clemson at 23 was horrible. I heard Josh Pate talking about it. Yeah, it was bad. But AP poll is the official one. That drops in 9 days. But yeah, hope you guys tell me in the comments what do you think of my preseason top 25 and tell me what is your preseason top 25. But before we wrap up this episode of College Football Takeover, let's get to the trivia question of the day. The category is the run game. Match the running back with the team they joined in 2024. The options of players are 1, Antonio Gibson, 2, Derrick Henry, 3, Josh Jacobs, 4, Tony Pollard, and 5, DeAndre Swift. And you can match them to A, Baltimore, B, Chicago, C, Green Bay, D, New England, and E, Tennessee. The answer to the trivia question is 1 matches to D, so Antonio Gibson went to the Patriots. 2 matches to A, Derrick Henry went to the Baltimore Ravens. 3 matches to C, Josh Jacobs went to the Green Bay Packers. 4 matches to E, Tony Pollard went to the Tennessee Titans. And 5 matches to B, DeAndre Swift went to the Chicago Bears. So that is your trivia question for Saturday, August 8, 2026 and Sunday, August 9, 2026. I hope you guys liked my preseason rankings. Tell me in the comments what you thought of it. And tell me, what is your preseason rankings? Arch Manning is my Heisman pick. Texas is my national champion pick. I've got Texas at number 1. Oh, that scared me to death. As of right now. But right before I wrap this up, I want to thank you guys for this wonderful 2-year journey I've had. A lot of you guys are new to the channel. I mean, a year ago today, I had like 25 subscribers. Now I have 650. By the way, thank you for helping me get 650 subscribers. I really appreciate it. But it's been a great journey. 2 years ago today, I started out. I really appreciate everyone following me on this journey. Most of you guys, of course, have not been following me for the 2 years because you don't have subscribers at the beginning, like my first year. Still, because the first year is the hardest. This year has been a great year of growth. The second year of this channel, I gained 625 subscribers. It was crazy. I hope to continue to grow. And remember, once college football season starts, almost everyday content. It's going to be fantastic. Really excited for year 3 on this show. I appreciate everyone for following this channel, liking, subscribing, commenting. I really appreciate it. I love engaging with the fan base. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to year 3. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this episode of College Football Takeover. Hope you guys liked my rankings, and I'll see you next time on College Football Takeover. Bye now.